One that's made the first port call in there.
What was you doing when you was feeling that kajaku just then?
Some of the kajakus get slightly, you can feel the head shape.
Right.
So they can have slightly raised, very difficult to see. But yeah, as that grows out to big fish, it'll have a sort of slightly sloped head.
Sloped nose
so
to it.
you can just, sometimes you can feel it, that's absolutely fine. That one there with a nice pattern, it's just got a slight drop off. Not enough, I mean, it's other than that, it's a cracking little fish.
Get pattern on it's going to be.
Yeah, pattern's superb. Yeah, another one that makes it through. What to do there. So there's two that have got the structure that we'd look for. And we make our way back down the pots again. So the next port call will be the next best. These will be going to a mud pond for the bigger fish.
Yep.
Fish like the patterns needs to grow out to get a decent look at the pattern on that.
Yes. And when you're looking for pattern, what is it you're actually looking for?
With kajakis, people love 3-step, 4-step patterns. So from a selling point of view, you know, sort of prettier flowery patterns, like something like this, where you've got multiple steps. A fish like this is ideal for the mud pond. Quality is really nice, but it's a little bit short in the head, so it's not a fish we're growing for a big fish. But at 10 inches, you know, it's ideal. Again, there's quite a nice pattern on that. A little bit secondary on the side of the face, but we can live with that. And the mud ponds, they change quite a lot, and obviously we lose a slightly higher percentage to predators.
Yeah.
And damage. So that'll make the mud pond for bigger ones. And then we make our way down to this one. And the best of the smaller fish. We'll go to another mud pond where the size is kept smaller.
Yeah. I take it what's left will then go in the square one over there for the shop.
They'll go to another vat and move to a, I've got to use the square one for the fish I'll get out in a minute.
So on these ones, is it the same, you're looking at body shape first?
Always, yeah. The body shape is kind of a given. If they've got any issues body shape wise, then obviously, there's just no point in growing them on at all. So we get to that stage. So these are then what we basically stash for the summer's selling, as it were.
Yeah.
So it's not bad fish. There's some good fish.
I mean,
the price of what these will be going out for.
Personally, why haven't you selected like this kajaku, this kikaryu?
This kajaku's got too many black spots.
Right.
So when you grow it out, these black spots really take away from it.
Yeah.
Kikikuru's not got enough. So it's not got enough white. It's just when you see some of the other fish, it's not got enough definition, no real pattern. That Sankey there might well make it. You've got to pick a line.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you've got front heavy kahakus that haven't got a balance of pattern. Fish with a full red through the head. Again, the pattern the back end's quite nice. The front lets it down. Shimmy on this one. So it's just little things with all of them that mean these fish will be sold off for 5-10 quid a fish through the summer. Lovely little pond fish, nice kajaku there with a nice on the nose, but not enough
in the
body pattern. So every fish in there, little tancho Sankey, that's quite nice, but it's so small that the chances are that's just going to not make it through. So these, I have to find.
So yeah, see now I quite like that Kikikoru. That's the sort of thing my mum would go for, because she says I like the ugly ones.
I'll just transfer this to another bowl.
Those ones go in there, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different bowls, and plenty of fish to go through. And Sean is out collecting more, is it?
Sean's doing the running, Carl's doing the catching, and then hopefully they'll be back and we'll start on the other pond.
Cool, so yeah, we're not finished for a long shot yet.
Again, scoop number 2 and you get some quite monstrous different sizes.
Yeah, isn't there just?
So yeah, all these Kahaku are bred from our own second generation parents.
Yeah.
So they're a lot more.
So it's
It's perhaps interesting for us that, yeah.
So it's second generation. What were the parents originally?
Momotaro, Akawa cross, the originals.
Yeah.
And then we've used the female is one of their offspring, and the males from another line we do. So yeah, they've certainly got some good structure to them. But we fished out massive structure, heads on the wonk.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, same process.
I was eyeing that one up.
Not quite as, some of the scales are a little bit loose down the back edge of the pattern, but on such a young fish,
Yeah.
it's got a pattern like that and a body shape. It's
Yeah, you've got to take it to the next stage to see how it.
the next one in there that's a possible keep is this one. It's got a pretty boring pattern.
But I personally would call that a big fish pattern,
It is.
because you're not really going to appreciate the lines down the side until it gets bigger.
Certainly, that'll be the next one in the bowl that will be contemplated.
Mm-hmm.
Contemplate so much it might make. So there. So again, that's it.
That's it.
But
For,
you've got some of these really pretty little Benny Kikikuru type stuff where the sumi's just starting to
come
come
through.
up. So the one you pointed out a minute ago that was a little bit grey and wishy-washy, that's a sibling of it that's as
Yeah.
bright as a button.
Yeah, I
So
do.
obviously it's these fish that have got patterns. Some of the black covers some of the pattern, but that's
Yeah.
got a red pattern underneath the black. So a fish like that will look so much better.
So will some of that black recede?
The black receding, the red, the orange that's underneath will become much stronger red, and suddenly
Yeah.
that fish will just look, at 10 inches long, it'll be a totally different looking fish.
So that
it's a keeper.
that will
in the small
that will
sizes.
go in the small size keeper,
Yeah.
will it?
Cheap. Make it wear along again. Screw it down.
Sort of like rinse and repeat.
Basically is, yeah. So these, it's a little bit, got some loose scales on it. So these little patches are red, but
Yeah.
10 inch, these are basically made 10 to 12 inch standards when they come back out of the ponds.
Yeah.
And at
And
the price we charge for standard, you can forgive a red scale here or there.
Yeah.
It's-
But you've also got the possibility that odd scale might disappear as it grows.
Yeah, they're pretty stable, the Kahaku, so
Yeah.
when you've got issues like these, they normally are still there when they get bigger.
Yeah.
But it's whether you can live with them. Obviously, body shapes, and if they've got bad head shape or poor body shape, this one's sort of short and fat,
Yeah.
that it's not one that will be kept. Pretty little Sankey there.
So when you're looking at the Sankey, what are you looking for?
Similar sort of thing, shape, pattern. So again, the body shape first. Nice sort of sellable pattern. So again, step patterns. There's a nice fish, nice big fish here. Its body shape's good, sumi's good. It's got quite a nice face pattern, but there's no pattern in the body.
Yeah.
So we grow that up bigger, and then we struggle to sell it because you're relying on this sumi looking nice and bright. And Sankey, the sumi quite often changes and drops down when they're a bit older,
Yeah.
and actually you end up with a very difficult sort of sell. Kahaku here that's got the full face again. It's got just a few too many issues. The full face puts people off. The red in the fins, very heavy pattern.
Yeah.
Gets to a point where it's not going to sell itself easily. So it will go out as a smaller fish at that price.
Yeah.
Come back from a different direction. What will they come in there? I like that. The boss is doing all the work.
The boss is doing all the work. This is awesome.
There's too much water there. Yeah, I was leaving. I couldn't catch them. so the bowl of pretty little ones. So the mud pond these are going in. We'll put 2,000 into the mud pond.
Yeah.
There's already 1,000 gone out of the similar size. Because we put more in and they're smaller, so they grow less. But so when we harvest them, they'll be say 8 to 10 inch fish.
Yeah.
Whereas the mud pond these go, and we'll put less in, and they'll be bigger. They'll come out a lot bigger. So we'll have distinct sizes for people, and obviously that then, individual weird and wonderfuls. We like stuff like that.
I do like the white on that one. So the weird and wonderfuls, are they the ones that have got Mark Gardner bloodline in them?
A lot of these will have, yeah. So you've got the ones with this darker overlaid. That's actually a Kajaku cross Benny Kikikuru.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got so many different colours involved later up.
Yeah.
Whereas the Deutsch Inashiki, like the ones we did for the Grown Show, they're a different parentage. But again, the females from Mark Gardner stuff.
Yeah.
This is one of the Kajaku cross Benny Kikikuru. So you can see the black. So you don't normally get all this black in Kajakus.
Right.
All around the face, the eyes, or whatever. So it's more like the Benny Gingas that you see from farms like Aoki. So little fish like that will be kept.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, what is a Benny Ginga?
Benny Gingas, Kajaku with sort of floating Benny, so floating red on top, and it has black in the base of it. So they change a bit like Matsukauback.
Right.
So they can look amazing, and they can look
shoddy.
that's generally go to all quality. So again, we get to this sort of stage. There's a few fish that are at that point.
Again, it's
so we should end up with biggest best, next biggest best, little pretty ones, and then what you've got left for selling. These are coming from a different unit, so they might be a slightly different mix. Obviously the Kahakus have just got some serious growth potential there.
Yeah.
Outbeast and everything. So we'll carry on going through the ones.
There is some weird and wonderful ones in there, too. Oh yes. Yeah, definitely a couple that are catching my eye in there.
Go for each tray, they'll be certainly dominated by the Kahaku.
Yeah, definitely.
But to be fair, these ponds were anyway.
But like you say, it's a case of getting places to put fish.
Yeah. I mean, so this is the body shape, size of this one, and quality is superb. Really nice. But it's got the full head pattern.
Yeah.
Everything else about it, sashi, kiwa, everything is spot on. It's just so
Right.
you'd have to forgive
For
that.
those out there that don't know what sashi and kiwa are.
Sashi's the front edge of your pattern, so you want it to be about a scale where you've got a pinkish hue.
Yeah.
So it's almost 3D, so you see the reds coming through at a nice depth. Back of the pattern wants to be fairly sharp. get different types. I'll show examples on these. Are quite small fish. So you get some where it follows a scale, each individual scale. Others where it's like that, cuts across them. So it cuts in a straight line
across
through the scale. So some of the scales will be half white, half. Different people usually say that the one that cuts straight is a much more stable, but it looks nicer when it follows the scale. You get that sculpted look to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, straight away in here, that fish, for growing out for a big fish, just for the size of it. You know, the qualities of it from there. If you could have a nice head pattern, it'd be amazing. Still makes it through to mud.
Bowl there for the bigger mud pond.
See this fish here again, nice fish, but it's got raised, sort of almost raised eyebrows.
Yeah, because you can see like a...
So yeah, you can just feel the skull over top of there, which as that gets bigger will start to look a little bit
more pronounced.
Yeah, not ideal. Another fish, nice clean. Right, again, it's got a solid head, which is a little bit of an issue, but and another one. So you, 3 best fish in this tray have all got the full head pattern.
Yeah.
Which
is
annoying.
Really...
Disappeared. Oh, your hand's going. Have you got the same problem with your hands? Yeah.
Not as bad.
Not as bad as
like keys.
Not as bad at the moment.
So again, really nice pattern, but this, see this secondary on the gill plates?
Yeah.
So it kind of, it would be a nice sellable fish at 12-14 inch, but ruins it as sort of like a show fish or a real nice piece. And the pattern on that's superb, but again it's got
that
over top of the eye.
That sort of like ridge on the head, doesn't it?
So again, just 2 of.
Just 2. Just 2 made it into that one.
This one we can be a little bit less picky with. Like just with the Benny, someone will love it.
Yeah, just
it's not very good, but actually, just little things like that help sell fish to people.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone likes a bit of red lipstick, don't they? Well, that's what it stands for. That's what it translates to, does it not?
It does.
It translates. Gucci Benny translates to red lipstick.
Nice.
Yeah, I was looking at that one. Why haven't you picked this one?
This will go in.
It will go into this.
It's got a weaker. The colour in it's a lot weaker. It might come through in a mud pond, but it's not as vibrant.
Vibrant as.
So, and pretty little fish like this little shell or whatever. It's got no chance of growing out with the bigger fish.
No.
Benny kikukus, again, you can see the red pattern. On top, you can barely see it.
But when you
out in the mud pond for some of that red will come up, blackish fade away a bit.
Shrink back.
Again. There we go. For that.
These are the ones that have been rejected so far.
Not chosen.
Yeah, well, it's still a rejection, isn't it?
They probably feel like it. Shearer series from the show this morning. We didn't do any shearers last year.
Mm-hmm. Was that just purely because you didn't have space?
We just got so many from a couple of years ago. We have to prioritise mixes.
Yeah.
And that's a nice Kajaku for. Oh no, it's not missing a fin. Just a set, another completely part of its fin not there.
Is that genetics?
No, that's not damage, but
But when you've got thousands of fish, you're going to end up with the odd one with a knock or...
Yeah, you get damage from when we harvest them, when we sort them out. Quite often happens when they're tiny. So, again,
So I take it this one's got too much red.
yeah, it's just you really need a face pattern again if you can. Start getting a little bit picky. I mean, it make a lovely fish for someone's pond when it's growing out, but you've got to have a sort of...
Just a little scoop.
Yeah, the body types of some of these are just phenomenal.
That's lovely.
Just absolute. You truly call them English, I suppose. They got English parents and...
Yep, definitely. But you can definitely see powerful body shapes on a few of these that are in here.
That's monster shapes. Again, these have had zero heat this winter. They've literally been in cold storage.
Does having them in the cold storage over winter stop the Benny from dropping back?
They just go into stasis almost. So these probably looked quite similar to this when they went in there.
Right.
They don't grow. Obviously, we just tick the food along. They develop a very small amount. But yeah, we've got fish like with an absolute cracking little sort of pattern.
So that'll go in the next one
That'll
along.
go in the next one along. But yeah, again, I think that was the one fish.
Right. The quality, in effect, is the same through the ones that are going out. It's just size you're looking at mainly in this respect.
Yeah, basically size, because they won't compete. If I then put a really pretty little fish, that's lovely, in with these ones.
In with these ones.
And they spend the summer together. The little one will still be little, and the big ones will be much bigger.
So
size splitting is almost as important. Look at that one, it's got such a crazy pattern. Not quite.
It's just like it's
again. So that's the Kajaku Beniki Kakuru cross. So you've got so many different colours layered up.
Yeah, that's really unusual.
They'll go through to a very dark metallic orange, black, silver. Quite a crazy look. You get some nice Matsubas.
Oh yeah.
Straight Matsubas like that. Metallic. Sure, I've seen them somewhere on someone's videos.
some of the metallics that I've got. They're in the growing on tank now at 18 degrees.
So yeah.
It's going up a degree every 2 days.
And they might compete with them.
A pretty pattern.
Really nice pattern, nice shape for a Kajaku.
And the head itself is nice and white.
Nice white, nice long frame to them. The Kajakus can get a bit sort of short and stubby sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, this really pretty little fish. It's got to go and fight with the herons, cormorants, otters, whatever I'm visiting this week. But again, it's trying to get as much of a mix, because we've got so many kahakus. There'll be kahakus going here for sale that are it's what we might keep on another year.
But because
we've got the
space is premium. But that Kim Matsuba is lovely.
Darker shade, and these will go so much darker this summer. The reds are just improved, but it's got that sort of almost like gin in the silver scales.
Yeah.
Nice white effect. Move down. So the prettiest bowls we'll give it a look.
Yeah, there is some pretty fish in there. So, because it is from in effect a trial parenting, would you not keep this just for progression?
Some
purposes?
of them, some will go through. That one, as you got it on camera, I will do, but it's so black in the head.
Yeah.
But as it's on camera, that we can try and follow that one.
We'll follow that one.
But yeah, there's generally.
Hopefully the heron don't get it.
That's a possibility.
See, quite a few people would look at that and think that's a nice fish, the way it's got the little dot on the nose, and it's equal.
It is just a nice stepper pattern somewhere else in it.
Yeah.
The head and fins are all lovely.
But if it had a little bit of pattern,
yeah, you just
would make it perfect then, wouldn't it?
That's what some call a window fish with a nice line of scales. Yeah, it's like this Kajaku. But one more stepper pattern here, and it's a surefire keeper. But
different.
today it's just not.
What about the Harawaki?
Again, it's just needs either some white in the face or some white up in the shoulder, and the fin shape's a bit triangular.
Yeah, I didn't notice the fin shape.
So whereas this one's got beautiful pectoral fins, lovely sort of balance, but they haven't got any.
Not enough.
You're relying on this sumi to make the pattern, and this is going to change.
So drastically when if it goes out.
Doesn't make it. So there's another one of these, but that's actually got some steps of pattern in it.
Yeah.
So that one can go through. And then I think we're. Dominated by big kahakus.
It's surprising how many fish are actually in that first container.
Yeah, the two ponds will probably go through 1,500 fish today.
Yeah.
But obviously once they've been split each way, see where we are numbers wise.
And then will you go through them again then?
Probably not, because the numbers I need, I've got plenty of space to some degree, so.
Right.
It's a lovely pattern, but it's got all this secondary around the face.
Yeah.
Some of that might drop off out of the mud pond, but
so all the fish we've gone through so far, we've only had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 make the bigger fish cut. So that one will be reliant on growth, won't it? Pattern wise.
yeah, when the width of the body comes out with the pattern or something, there's a lot more interesting. Quite a that's really nice, isn't it? Fish like that. If I put that in the mud pond and it gets eaten, I'd be very upset.
Yeah, because that's a lovely 4-step pattern. That is a beautiful 4-step pattern.
And another Kajaku. So the black in these Kajakus is where you get the dark red.
Yeah.
You get the red Kajakus. It's like a combination of the two colours playing a part together, which is great. But this one just is too bald. One side's brilliant.
Yeah, and the other side.
Cool, yeah. They do it.
But then again, it's a numbers game. I mean, you said this on the lives quite a few times. You know, it is a numbers game. Out of 1,000 fish, you could get 20 decent ones, if that. You're pretty senky when that sumi comes through.
Yeah, these will make nice big fish for people's ponds that have got limited budgets.
Yes.
So
yeah, and that's what we're aiming at, really, isn't it?
yeah, well, that's kind of our marketplace. Quality fish. Keep your eye on there. What we're going to do for you, you can have one out of this best bowl we'll grow it on for you.
Yeah.
Stay here.
Wow.
You can, so that'll be one of out of there. I've said it on camera now, haven't I?
Yep. So Ricky has just said.
So when we're finished going through them all, there'll probably be hopefully 100, 200 fish in here.
You hold that. Don't touch the actual screen. We're sorting through fish at the moment, and Ricky has just said that if I keep my eye on this bowl here, which is the big ones that are going to be going out to the mud pond.
No, they'll be going somewhere safe.
Oh, they're going somewhere safe, are they? Oh no,
safe,
they're not going out to the mud pond, they're going out somewhere safe. And,
may never get it back.
and we can pick one and we can grow it on, and it will be kept here for us until it gets to a nice size. So yeah, absolutely blown away right at this moment in time. So these are the ones that are on so far.
Pretty good. Absolutely unbelievable little.
I got my eye on that little 4-step there. Oh yes, that's beautiful. But we've still got this lot to go through. And another pond that Sean's emptying at the moment. As you can see, these are the small little ones. Some cracking fish in there. On that matsuba you've just put in, will that darken right up, or will that?
Well, the matsubas, the scales are black but the skin's yellow or gold. So as the fish gets bigger, you get more skin per scale.
So it's actually the footprint that's the yellow.
So you start getting that nice effect from them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's can be a bit deceiving when they're young.
So is the red on there too much, or is it?
Yeah, it's just it's a solid head. So it's again nothing wrong with it. Just
Not what you're after.
not.
I'm in my element, you know that?
still on the net.
Yeah, hang her on her.
The
Proper trophy there.
Yemen-Zelensky ground shaper is doing well, though, isn't it?
Yes, well, it's such a range of people.
Ages of people. Yeah.
But the fact that hopefully they're all alive, and four of them have white spot or whatever, but that's all that goes wrong. I could live with that.
Well, I say I didn't have any white spot in the small ones, but I found it in the main one.
Yeah, I think the temperature's just, as it warms up, you start getting all sorts of bits picking up, don't you? Be it white spot or health problems. We see it here quite a lot. Got to look at that, that's
Oh yes.
absolutely show pattern, that one. Big, tall, strong body.
Yeah, definitely.
That's your cower side of the lineage, they tend to be very tall. Huge volume. This one.
It's a nice
On a
pattern.
roll, aren't we?
On a roll, yeah. Nice Muratan spot in the centre. White's lovely. On to the next one. There is some stunning fish in there. Why did you reject that one?
That one. He's got a deformation of spine, so it's just not right.
Yep.
So yeah, that'll be humanely dispatched. That's not even for selling. Again, that was, it's not
Yeah,
so much deformed. That's very short in the
It's
body.
very
So that's
short.
fine to sell, but it's just
Short in the body.
Yeah, it's always, you're sort of always grading with quality in mind, but also where they're being sort of sold, as it were.
Yes.
What age, what size. You know, these will develop massively over this summer,
Yeah.
but some of the faults will get worse. Some of the faults, so the redder gets stronger, the whiter get whiter, the patterns fix up a little bit, but yeah, if there's lots of spare scales, spare red or whatever, that won't ever fix up.
Yeah.
The quality of the red's really nice, it's just a little bit lacking in pattern, but most of them in there are pretty good.
The first Ginrin one I've seen.
Yeah, it's not proper Ginrin, that's
That's
just in the white you get that extra shine. He's going to get growled at. We've got a shower making
Lovely
play for it.
shower.
We've already put a few hundred shower out to the muck-ons from elsewhere.
Yeah. What parents were they?
Hi, alright. How you doing?
Just headed to Penny's.
Alright. Sorry?
I said, what parents were the shower?
The showers, we've done Isa, across one of our own, which came from a Yamatoya fish. An Isa male across a Momotaro female. Same Isa male across a Shinoda female. With 4 different batches, so we can run them out and get a real idea of which combination to do again.
Yeah.
The male from the Isa was just insane. So that's why we used him with every single batch.
Yeah. Is that insane because of production or
the overall quality of it is just body type, size, growth, just best show we've ever had on the farm. So we've used him as many ways as we can. So we've got his blood in lots of different combinations.
yeah.
So we hopefully can use our own parents and know which combinations work. At the minute, the Momotaro Isa cross is by far the best.
Yeah.
Although the female from Momotaro wasn't perhaps the best looking fish compared to some of the others.
But
Definitely produced the best offspring.
the Momotaro shower is a different style to Isa though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they're much bigger. Mako blood crossed in, so they tend to grow huge. Maybe not quite as refined, but yeah, we've certainly seen. Yeah, the quality was just so much better. And hopefully we'll see. We won't see any today, but we'll see when we're harvesting them. Trouble to show, it takes so long for them to really show what they're going to do and how good the sumi's going to be and how big they're going to grow. You can make a judgment at 6 months old, and then a year later you're like, oh, that was wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
And another year later they change again.
Yeah, they definitely a progression fish in that respect. They don't truly finish till about 5 or 6 years old, do they?
No, definitely not. It's certainly a long-term project, but like I say, we've got 4 different combinations with the male.
Yeah.
And they're all growing in similar environments, so we should find which one works better for us, and then we can either replicate it or use those offspring for the next generation.
Next generation.
Yeah.
So there you can see the ratios really. And there's definitely a higher ratio of not quite what's needed or wanted, but still pretty fish. Still pretty fish, very pretty fish.
So in the autumn we try to keep twice as many this level Tosai than we need.
Yeah.
We generally aim to keep or grow on 5,000 Nisa a year.
Yeah.
We try to have 10,000 of this level to work away from. So yeah, if it gives us spares, if the quality's not there or something goes wrong, then obviously we've got backup fish to get our numbers. Yeah, to hold 10,000 of these over winter. It's no easy task.
Yeah, it's a lot of space as well, isn't it?
It's a lot of space and a lot of sorting out. Yeah, I mean, Tosai Kahaku like that,
Yeah.
absolutely
That is beautiful.
bonking fish. You get bored of red and white ones soon. That's no Jim Rinsagi for you to look at. That's a shame. That's absolutely quality pattern, but it's too short and
It's too
chunky.
short in the body.
Yeah. So again, it's not even a fish that would get grown on. It goes sold as seen. There you go, look at that. That's more like.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
So you see how white the skin is.
Now that is lovely. Wow.
So we're going to have a glut of kahakus in a couple of years. All our big fish will be
Kahaku.
kahaku shower.
There is some nice patterning on the kahakus though.
Yes, yeah, and the patterns are pretty this one. Pattern's something that forever we've been told it's got nothing to do with the parents.
No?
I disagree. It's got a lot to do with the parents.
You, I would have thought so as well.
It's something that, yeah. It's always, yeah, the patterns have been, yeah, always said that pattern's something that just comes out as a random mix.
Yeah.
But we found that if you breed from a two-step kahaku, your majority of offspring that have got patterns are two-step kahakus. If you breed
Really?
from tanchos, you get more tanchos. If you breed from these are very flowery, both parents are like six-stepped flowery parents.
Yeah.
And the offspring, you can see the patterns. of the
Yeah, yeah,
offspring.
definitely.
Follow that on. So there's
This one here.
the only downside is normally the more steps and the prettier the pattern, the harder it is to get them to grow big.
Yeah.
A two-step kahaku generally seems to grow
Grow
bigger,
quicker.
easier. Stuff from Sakai Fish Farm, the best kahakus in the world, generally are quite predominantly one, two, quite simple patterns, but they grow huge. And they
Is
look
that
amazing.
because there's less production needed for the benny? Because
well,
it's
they
such a
have to-
solid pack.
They tend to have quite big patterns, don't they?
Yeah.
It's not. It's in the genes, but there's less different things going on, and there's less areas for it to go wrong.
Yeah.
You've got less areas of sashi, less areas of kiwa, so you can, as long as the benny plate's good, you can sort of, get aware of it to some degree a little bit.
Yeah.
We used to breed most of our kahakus from a Matsue bloodline. And
Yeah.
They were very big, bold, massive frame, two-step fish. And most of our offspring were the same.
Mike at Yumikoi used to sell a lot of
That's where
Matsue
they- yeah.
kahaku, didn't he?
Yeah, that's where they all came from. And Mike supplies all of our Momotaro, Matsue, Omasa, all of our broodstock from the south of Japan comes from Mike.
Yeah. I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I managed to get to see Mike's place before he moved out to Japan.
Before he went, amazing place.
Yeah. Oh, his main pond was phenomenal, and the indoor setup was just out of this world.
Yeah.
The big indoor setup that he had. Yeah, that was
Last one he built.
that was amazing.
And go to the pretty little bowl.
Pretty little bolt. And so we've got one scoop left.
One scoop in there to go. There's your
Oh yes, that is lovely. What do you reckon to that one? Yeah, that differential in the line is absolutely perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, the trouble is they change, so it might look like that in a year's time. But
With the grey and yeah.
the silver,
Mind you, that still looks nice. That little one.
they're just metallic Komomru, so your chance of them.
So is that what a Kikikorio is? Is a metallic Komongru?
Yeah, yes, that's all. Yeah,
Well, that's something I've learned.
so it's another one of those. The Kajaku.
Yeah.
I think it's really obvious how you got the steps black.
So that would that have the black steps and the Matsuba underneath
Yeah.
it?
But the background can change. So you, again, I don't know. They're quite a new thing for us.
Yeah.
these are hard. The patterns on these, you sort of have to almost bring them out of the water to see
Yeah.
what's occurring. Plus there's not enough on either of these to get by. That one there's a bit better. It's got
Oh yeah, lovely.
so that. Jacket over there, got a solid head.
Yeah, I was going to.
Really nice.
If you didn't put that one in, I was going to ask you why you didn't.
And this thick greeny orangey colour.
Yeah.
That's what becomes a real thick red in the Sankies when they get older. So look, when they're young, they can look really unappealing and yeah, not very nice at all.
Yeah.
But long term, they tend to come better. Whereas these that have got the more red, like almost finished red on them when they're younger, it's not as thick, it's not as long lasting. So look at that point.
So why haven't you picked like this little kahaku here?
It's too small. It's quite simply, when you see the size of some of its siblings.
Yeah, I was just
too
looking
small.
at some that you've put in there.
I've got
I was
so
just
many kahakus that it's becoming
a bit of a nuisance.
a nuisance, but these will be shortly moved. They were delivering me fish nice and quicker, and they've all disappeared now, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, these Deutsch Yamate Nishiki, they're really pretty, but they're not going to compete against
Yeah.
these are more jumbo line fish.
But saying that, the other lines are starting to get to go Sankey sizes now, though, aren't they?
Some are. They're probably struggling to get parents of anything other than, you know, your single colour varieties or Go Sankey that can grow big. And Donichi is starting to do work with their Komomryu lines and whatever that are growing, potentially going to grow big, but I've not seen them yet.
No, we're on the last bolt.
Well, from there, so that was about half of the pond.
So we've got another half of the pond to do.
Of that lot, and then this is about half of the pond that's coming from in there, hopefully.
Only 2 non-kahaku in that one.
Goes out of different years. We did bred these kahaku quite early last year.
Mm-hmm.
Nice clean.
Isn't it?
Silver and that silver. Keep from there. Yeah, this is our bread and butter stuff.
Yeah.
These. Fish with crazy face patterns that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
are a real pretty one.
Yeah. That work is quite unusual.
This one.
Yeah.
A bit short in the
In the nose.
got nice tidy little 9 gill scales. Just about.
Just
Fuck
about.
little times, yeah. One pot done.
There we go. There's one pot done.
You don't want a round of teas or anything?
Yeah.